Thank you so much for coming. So today, for Kids Kitchen on Wheels, we're going to be focusing on breakfast and the importance of breakfast and the importance of breakfast foods. And we're going to be talking a little bit about how food affects our nutrition and how we can kind of incorporate certain foods to make sure we stay healthy. Cool? All right, so we have two friends here. We have two friends in the rooms. So I'm going to go back and forth so nobody feels left out while I'm talking. And we will go ahead and get started. So everyone should have a basket that looks like this in front of them. Why don't you go ahead and take out your parchment paper. This will kind of be your workspace so we keep everything clean. All right. We can also start taking out some of the ingredients. So today we're making fruity breakfast tacos. So I think, we're kind of used to breakfast tacos being like a tortilla maybe with some eggs and other things in there. Today we're doing a different version. We're doing a fruity breakfast taco. So instead of tortillas, we're gonna use pancakes. And then we're gonna make a high protein taco sauce out of Greek yogurt and some sweetener. And then we're going to add in our fillings. So instead of savory fillings, we're going to add in fruity fillings, right? So making sure we kind of get all the different food groups in breakfast, first meal of the day, all in one. Cool? All right. So you should see a Greek yogurt. So the reason we're using Greek yogurt, do we know why? High in protein, right? Yes, ding, ding. Okay, so Greek yogurt is very high in protein. Also, it's a dairy product, so it's got calcium for your bones. But protein in the morning is really important because it just keeps us full and it helps our body use all the other nutrition that we get in the meal a little bit longer. So especially as we're unfortunately guys, getting closer to school time, the protein in your breakfast, so Greek yogurt, eggs, bacon, sausage, milk, nuts, peanut butter, that protein just helps your body use the nutrition you eat at your breakfast meal a little bit longer so you can make it all the way to lunchtime and still be able to focus and keep your energy up. All right, Greek yogurt. Today we're using plain Greek yogurt because then we can flavor it ourselves. So at my house, we just have a giant container of plain Greek yogurt and then everyone just adds in their own flavors. So whether you want it vanilla, you want it coconut flavored, you want it to have fruit in it, you want it to have chocolate chips in there, or coconut, or whatever you want to have in there, you can kind of make it your own. But you can absolutely use any flavor for this. So if you have a flavor at home of Greek yogurt that you really like, whether it's peach or strawberry or whatever, and you want to use that for your tacos, you can use that. So a nice way to switch it up. All right, what else do we have in here? We've got a banana for our filling. You should have a container of strawberries that we'll be cutting up. There should be packets of honey. So here in hospital land, we don't squeeze things out of a plastic bear. We have fun little packets. So we'll have those. There should be 2 of them in there, I believe. And then you'll see a little container of chocolate chips, a container of that brown liquid that's vanilla extract, a container of shredded coconut, and pancakes. Everyone have all the ingredients? Cool. All right. So then you'll also find some measuring spoons, a plastic spoon, and a plastic knife. So any kiddos that are watching or parents that are watching, regular old run-of-the-mill plastic cutlery are really great for little hands. It's kind of tough to harm yourself with a plastic knife, but it still does the trick enough to get kids into the kitchen and doing things alongside you. So plastic knives, who knew? All right, so let's start. We're gonna start with our sauce first. We're gonna make the sauce. So we'll get our Greek yogurt. I'm gonna open that up. All right, you can use your plastic spoon. I always like to stir it to make it a little smooth. Sometimes yogurt gets a little separated. So we'll stir that up. All right. And now we're going to add some honey. So this is also a time to make this your own a little bit. If you like your yogurt sweet, you can use both of these, right? The recipe calls for 2 teaspoons, so that's 1 of each, okay? So if you like your yogurt sweet, use both. If you like it less sweet, use 1, or anywhere in between, based on how you like to eat that. I think these are even trickier than the plastic bear because you got to get it open. Seems convenient till you can't open it when you need it. All right, I'm going to stop at 1, but that's just me. This is a judgment-free zone, so you use as much honey as you need. Plus, I'll give you a tidbit about honey. Honey's actually really great, so better for you than just using regular old table sugar. Honey is almost like a live ingredient, like your yogurt is, right? Your yogurt's got all that really good bacteria in it too, so lots of protein, but lots of good bacteria, lots of good bugs that go into your guts and help keep you healthy longer.
Can I ask something?
Yeah?
What's the difference between probiotics and prebiotics?
Oh, I love that question. So the question was, what's the difference between prebiotics and probiotics? I'm going to make it even more complicated for you. There's postbiotics too. Just nobody talks about it except for us sciencey, nerdy dietitians who like to talk about that. Yeah. So your probiotic is the bacteria. Okay? There's bacteria all over the place, as yummy as that sounds while we make food. But there's good bacteria and bad bacteria. We all know what the bad bacteria is, right? The bad bacteria is what makes us sick. Good bacteria, though, lives everywhere. Lives on our skin, in our mouths, in our guts, right? And that good bacteria helps promote our immune system. It helps keep our intestines really healthy. On our skin, it fights the bad bacteria, right? So it helps kind of keep a balance between the good and the bad on your skin, so that if you get a cut, right? We get cuts and scrapes all the time, but we don't, nothing tragic happens to us when we get scrapes. Part of that's that good bacteria kind of helping make sure that if our skin barrier is broken, nothing bad gets in there, right? Same thing going on in your guts. So 90% of your immune system lives in your guts. Did you know that? Huge. All in your guts, which is why food is so important. Prebiotics are foods that feed probiotics. So just like giraffes don't eat ice cream, or bears don't eat gummy bears, right? Your good bacteria doesn't eat all kinds of foods. So foods that good bacteria do eat are usually things that, like me, your dietitian, or your parents, or your doctors like to talk about a lot. So your good bacteria likes to eat things that have fiber in it. Fruits, vegetables, whole grains, right? Things like whole grain pasta, wheat bread, fruits, vegetables. Those are the things that your good bacteria like to eat. Dairy products, things your good bacteria. Things that harm your good bacteria are all the things that you hear about all the time that your dietitian wouldn't say eat all the time, right? Those are your sometimes foods, right? Like fried foods, sweets, processed foods like chips and crackers and stuff like that. If we have too much of those foods, we don't have enough of the food that good bacteria likes to eat. That's the difference. So the prebiotic is the food that feeds the good bacteria, or the probiotics. Postbiotics is the good stuff that the good bacteria makes. And those postbiotics are what help keep our bodies really healthy. So the more good bacteria we have, the healthier our whole body is. Mouth, skin, hair, nails, guts, immune system keeps us healthier longer. That's the why. So we don't just run around saying, just eat your vegetables, they're good for you. Eat your fruits, they're good for you. That's the reason, because it feeds all the good stuff going on in our bodies. Cool?
Yes.
All right. Honey, a wonderful prebiotic. And honey actually has like antibacterial properties. So long time ago, Before we had lots of medicine, people used honey to help heal cuts and scrapes and all kinds of stuff. So honey is a good choice. I love it. You could also use maple syrup. So if there's any vegans anywhere and honey is a no-no, maple syrup works as a really great sweetener too. Smoothies, anything. All right. Good question. Okay, honey in. Next, vanilla. So we're going to take our vanilla and we're going to take our measuring spoons and we're going to find a 1/4 teaspoon. So the 1/4, the tiniest one. And we're going to scoop out of here and put that right into our yogurt. Again, you can play science experiment here too. If you like it really more vanilla, you can add a little bit more. If you don't like it as much, you can use less. At home, you can use whatever extract you want. Okay? Mint with some chocolate chips would be amazing. Coconut would be great. Almond extract, lemon. Wonderful. And we all know variety is the spice of life, especially when we're talking about people's palates, so switching it up keeps it exciting. All right, so stir it all up. And once everything is blended and smooth, that's it. Easy peasy. How about you take a taste and see if it needs anything else? See if it needs more honey, see if it needs more vanilla. Not bad, right? Especially thinking plain Greek yogurt is basically sour cream, right? If you don't put anything, so at my house when we make like tacos and stuff, we use plain Greek yogurt instead of sour cream just because it has so much protein and probiotics and all that good stuff. So when you add a little bit to it, it totally transforms it, makes it something different. So, all right, that's our sauce. We can put that to the side. Now let's get our fillings working. A banana. We're going to peel these bananas. I did it the wrong way, but what I always tell my kids is to open it like a monkey. Do it like the monkeys do, and they open it from, you did it right. She did it right. If you open it from the non-stem end, the short end, it's easier to do. And then you pick off that weird little nubby end that everyone throws away. Yeah. Do it like the monkeys do. So, all right. Speaking of keeping your guts healthy, do we think a banana is better to eat when it's more yellow and really soft, or not totally yellow and a little bit green? What do we think? What do we think? We have one of each. You're playing, this is typical sister behavior happening here. You say this one, I'm gonna say the other one just to be safe. Well, one of you is right. So a banana is a great thing to eat no matter what, right? Lots of potassium in bananas that helps your muscles and your heart stay healthy. Eating a banana that's still a little bit green though has the most amount of probiotic fiber in it. So as it ripens, those prebiotics, the food breaks down a little bit and you don't get quite as much. So, little tidbit for you. All right. All we're gonna do with this banana though, that was a lot of info. All we're gonna do is slice it up really thin so we can put it inside of our tacos. And again here, you can be your own chef and decide how much or how little banana you wanna put in there. You can decide if you want to do thin slices or if you want to do chunks. I feel like it says a lot about a person if you just let them do things and then you go back and you say, I see you've done this and you've done this. I do it with my kids all the time and usually they're doing completely separate things, which stands true for their personalities. I always like to, because I'm a dietitian and I'm a food nerd, I like to ask people that I'm talking to, how do you eat your corn? Right, because that also tells a lot about a person. How do you eat your corn? If I gave you a corn cob, how would you eat that? You turn it. How would you eat it?
I eat it like alive.
See? Siblings. Some people are turners. Some people are straight across. Some people, my son and my sister, just go all over the place, which I think is crazy town. That's crazy. But it speaks to their personalities perfectly, where I am much more, like this, and I'm like the typewriter straight across. So next time, every time you eat corn now, you're gonna be looking at people like, how do you eat that? All right, so I'm doing thin slices because I like to be able to fold my tacos nicely together. Okay, next, strawberries. Let's do some strawberries. So again, thin slices, chunks, whatever floats your boat. We just want to make them small enough so that we can fold our taco in half. All right. I have another fun fact about bananas while we're standing here, because why not have fun facts? So all bananas come from one banana. So all bananas in the whole entire world all have the same DNA, the same exact DNA. And another fun fact, bananas are different now than they were 40 years ago. There's a different strain of bananas. So the old strain of bananas got wiped out by a pest. And it no longer exists. And these bananas taste different than the old ones. So if any of you have, when you eat like a banana runt or a banana Laffy Taffy and you're like, I love this, but this does not taste like a banana. Those taste like the old bananas. That's what bananas used to taste like. They don't taste like that anymore. This is the new banana. But all bananas have the same DNA. They are exact replicas of themselves. No matter where you are in the world, it's this one strain of banana. Crazy, right? Crazy. All right. So there you go. Banana talk. All right. Everyone sliced bananas and strawberries sliced. Okay, so now the only thing left to do is build our tacos. So in your containers, there should be 2 of them. Feel free to make them both now or wait. You can save them. All right, we're gonna take a little bit of our sauce, our Greek yogurt sauce. This not only will add some protein, you could also make these whole wheat pancakes. You can add protein powder to the pancakes in order to give them a little more oomph than a standard pancake. But we're adding protein with this. So we're gonna add some sauce. This also helps make sure all your fillings don't just come tumbling out of your taco. Okay? And now this is purely art. This is the art of the meal. You are going to add whatever it is that your heart desires in here. So there's coconut, there's chocolate chips. You can add as much or as little of the banana or the strawberry and kind of make it your own. I'm going to do a little chocolate because mental health is physical health, and chocolate makes me happy. And dark chocolate acts as an antioxidant. Does anyone know what an antioxidant is? Okay, that's a really huge word. If you need a Scrabble word, antioxidant will kill your score. But antioxidants are sort of like superheroes. So antioxidants are parts of certain foods that help kind of roll through the body and help attack things like toxins and things that might normally do your body harm. Right, there's like pollution in the air and pesticides on some of the foods we eat, and we put makeup on and hair products on and all kinds of stuff that our body has to figure out what to do with. And antioxidants just help your body figure out what to do with those things. So dark chocolate, antioxidant. All your colorful berries, blueberries, blackberries, strawberries, pomegranates, all those are really strong antioxidant foods. So adding those in just gives you another layer of protection from all the all the things we do. All right, and that's it. So decorate, and then eat. All right, I'm going for it. Good stuff, right? You know what's the other easier thing to do too? Is, so when I make pancakes, I make like 4 billion pancakes, and then I freeze them. Because I don't have time to like stand in front of a griddle every day when my kids think it's a good idea for pancakes. So, but you can also use frozen pancakes here too. Or you can make, instead of tacos, little tostadas with waffles, frozen waffles. Lots of things to vary the recipe. But I hope you all enjoyed the recipe making. Remember, the foods that we eat work long after we're done chewing them, so food should be delicious but also nutritious. And all those things kind of work to help keep us healthy. So thank you again for participating. I appreciate you all. And I hope to, well, actually, I guess I should say I hope to not see you soon. But if I do see you, I hope we're out somewhere doing something very fun. So thank you all.